Hi guys. So this is, I seem to be using my lives recently when I'm waiting for something to arrive and there's mosquitoes around me. So it's surfing as a great distraction tool to communicate. And today's live is pretty much about why, just in yoga classes, just telling people to feel your way into a posture, feel what feels good, is not enough. I'm getting a sign saying, hold on, we're telling more people. Okay, so this is, just to recap, I seem to be doing these lives when I'm waiting for something to arrive and there's a lot of mosquitoes around me. So they're serving as a cool distraction tactic. And today's theme is pretty much on why just telling people to feel what feels good and do that in a yoga class is not enough. It's easy just to teach and just tell people to do what feels good, but it's a little bit more engaging and using a bit more intelligence to actually see what people are doing and to see how you can help and maybe provide a new experience for people. But it relates to a lot of the sutras relate to the concept of identity and not having a fixed identity. So if you're telling people just to feel what feels good, it's sort of playing into the way of people going into an identity they're used to, because often that can feel quite good just to go into something pretty familiar. I've just been surfing, by the way, so I'm pretty looking like a drowned rat. But anyway, so if you actually give people, let's say today I was doing a back bend in a lunge, and then I had a mirror behind me and suddenly I realized I was twisting to one side, so I fixed myself so I was straight, and then mentally I had a whole completely different experience. But hopefully in a yoga class, the person guiding, facilitating or teaching the class is the mirror, because not everyone's going to suddenly have a mirror behind them. So in a yoga class, we hope that the person facilitating, if someone's twisting and they're not aware of it, if it's a conscious twist for some reason, but if they're not aware they're twisting, or maybe they're used to their handstand being a bit wonky, hopefully as a facilitator, a coach or a teacher, you can tell people or help them out, you're pushing a little bit more through your right hand than your left hand, or your shoulders are twisting in a handstand, which is affecting the handstand. So this is pretty useful skill sets if a teacher that you're working with has this. If a teacher's just telling you just feel what feels good, you may as well be at home and just feeling what feels good, because it's probably not going to, why would it change so much if you're in a group class with someone around you? So that's pretty much the reflection of today's talk. Whilst I'm waiting for something to arrive here. And I haven't felt a mosquito bite for the past 5 minutes, so that's pretty cool. So it also plays into, if you've got a fixed identity, which everyone has got identities that they're used to. If someone introduces something new, then you're exploring a new identity. So that's pretty good. And it relates to the yoga postures and handstands as well. So if new people are coming to a class, or people aren't familiar with a posture you're introducing in a class, it's very difficult for them to have an identity with that posture and to know what that posture actually is, to then be able to tell people in a class that the posture is not important. They haven't got an identity yet to disidentify. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you're not used to a handstand, you can't really tell people the handstand is not the important part of the class. If they can't even do a handstand yet, they can do a handstand. And then when they're in the handstand, if they're very solid, then they can get the sense of, maybe it's more than just being in a handstand, or something greater than the experience they're in. But if people aren't in a posture yet or familiar with a posture, that's the other aspect of yoga classes. You can't just tell people the posture is not important, because they haven't got a sense of the posture yet. So otherwise it's a lot of disassociation with nothing grounding it. So that's just 2 points for any really class, but yoga specifically, because we work a lot on this concept of identity and then disidentify. So first point is, well, today feel free to share whatever your thoughts and feelings are, because you might have different aspects or views that you have. To me, it's not enough just to tell people just to feel their way into a posture. Firstly, they may not be familiar with the posture, so they don't know what they're meant to be feeling or where they're meant to be feeling it, or what they're meant to be doing. And also, if you give them a structure to work with, suddenly the whole mental, emotional experience in the posture can completely transform, but they don't have that knowledge or experience yet to go into, to alter what they're doing or to give that structure sort of a more embodied active form. So through engagement of muscles, through relaxation, through maybe broadening the shoulders if that's what they need to do in the posture. So their mental experience can be transformed from the inside out if you give them a structure, without them just trying to feel their way through a certain mental clarity. So they don't need to do that so much if you give them some kind of form that they can be in, and then everything else can be affected as a result of that. And then the other one is obviously to that whole concept of the posture not being important. Well, if you don't have the posture yet, it's not really a concept unless you get the identity first and you're solid with that, and then you can go, oh yeah, it's not that important. But with a whole class of majority of new people or people who don't necessarily haven't really understand what they're doing in the shape, it's just going to blur them and make everything very disassociated if you just tell them that it's not important as a posture, because it will be much more helpful for them to really understand the physical aspect of what they're doing, and then they can have a sense of in that posture, a sense of spaciousness, which gives them maybe a sense of being greater than a posture or something along those lines, or any aspect of space. Anyway, wishing you guys nice to see some names pop up that are all over the world that I know, and wishing you guys a wonderful Sunday wherever you are, and that's it. And I always forget how to turn this off. Aha.